You posted a statement to X shortly after the strike saying that terrorist violence in any form, whether directed at Christians, Muslims, or other communities, remains an affront to Nigeria's values and to international peace and security. Foreign Minister, that is a different message than what we've heard from President Trump, who has really focused on the killing of Christians. What can you explain for our viewers is really happening on the ground here? Who's really being targeted?
Terrorists are being targeted. This has always been Nigeria's approach, and this also puts to rest any doubt with regards to the Tinubu administration's resolve to fight terrorism. This was coordinated with the U.S. the same way that we've been saying we're ready, willing, and able to collaborate, to coordinate with any foreign government that is committed to the fight against terrorism. This is not about religion. It is about Nigerians, innocent civilians, and the wider region as a whole. And even before the strike was carried out, I had a 19-minute phone call with Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, after which I discussed with President Tinubu. And I later spoke again to President Tinubu. He gave the go-ahead, and then Marco Rubio called me once more for a 5-minute discussion, and subsequently the attacks were carried out.
Foreign Minister, I want to play for you a clip of President Trump from November and then get your comment on the back of this. Take a listen.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
So the president says that a record number of Christians are being killed. Do you dispute that? And if so, what's the true number of people being killed?
We're not going to dwell or pore over forensically what has been said or what hasn't been said. For us, it's a matter of what I can only describe as perhaps the choice between deontology and consequentialism. So for us, in this particular matter, we're focusing more on consequentialism. So the end. The end is to fight against terrorism, to stop the terrorists from killing innocent Nigerians, be they Muslim, Christian, atheist, whatever religion, and to also understand that this is a regional conflict. It is happening in West Africa, it's happening in the Sahel region, it's happening in the Lake Chad Basin region. So this is important. But for us, whoever is prepared to work with us to fight terrorism, we're ready, willing, and able.
And I want to talk about that in just a moment, but just to sort of circle back, it's not about disputing what has been said or hasn't been said, but I do think it's about understanding the scope of the problem on the ground and understanding who has not been a victim of this. And so to help our viewers understand, you say it's not just Christians. Explain some of the factors sort of at issue here.
So the factors at issue, like I said, it's a regional conflict. It goes back to the effect of the Leahy laws that precluded the sale of kinetic and non-kinetic military equipment to countries like Nigeria. It goes back to the breaking down of government and governance in Libya, the killing of Gaddafi, the proliferation of weaponry and fighters from Libya, the attempt at a Sahel strategy by our neighbors to the north to stop the flow of migrants in a region, in the Sahel region, which is arid or semi-arid, and life depends on movement. And that created tensions because some of the countries found themselves having to deal with outside initiatives that were collaborating with Azawad Tuareg groups, and those Tuareg groups were irredentists. They were separatists trying to create their own country, and the military are trained to keep countries together. So that put them at loggerhead with military in countries like Niger, like Mali, like Burkina Faso, which ultimately led to the takeover of government by the military in those countries, and ultimately led to the pulling out of a country like Niger from the multinational joint task force that had been combating terrorism effectively in the region, and which meant that the progress that we had made came to a standstill. So you can see that these are exogenous factors, and they're all tied to the wider region. It's not a Nigerian problem. It's not a Christian-Muslim problem. It is a regional problem, but we're putting all of that aside. We accept that we need the support of other countries, and any country that is willing to work with Nigeria based on our moral precepts and ethical considerations and respect for our territorial integrity and sovereignty, we're prepared to do so, and we demonstrated this yesterday.
Are you prepared,
all
sir?
of this happened. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you prepared, sir, to allow U.S. troops on the ground to use President Trump's words, guns a-blazing, when you say that you're prepared to accept help? Are you prepared for U.S. troops on the ground if that is, in fact, what the commander-in-chief supposes?
These are operational issues that would have to be considered by our military. I am heading foreign policy. I'm heading the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diplomacy, and it's something that the Minister of Defense and some of our security agencies would be in a better position to respond to. But for now, we have collaborated on this attack. It was a collaborative effort between Nigeria and the US, and President Tinubu gave the go-ahead before it took place, and we don't see it violating our sovereignty or territorial integrity, which is very important. And it is not about religion, it's about the protection of lives and property of Nigerians and our neighbors as well.
And I take your point that some of the factors at play here on the ground are factors that may stretch beyond the border of Nigeria, that may stretch beyond even the continent. But I do want to ask, I mean, these are Nigerians who have been killed, Muslim, Christian, and otherwise. For those who say, you said a moment ago that this is not a Nigerian problem, this is not a Christian problem. For those who say that Nigerian lawmakers haven't done enough to protect Christians, haven't done enough to protect Nigerians who have been the victim of these crimes, what do you say? What do you say to those concerns?
What took place yesterday clearly underscores the fact that Nigeria is not lacking in will and a commitment to the fight against terrorism. We may have institutional challenges, partly due to, for instance, the Leahy law that stopped the sale of military equipment, both kinetic and non-kinetic, to countries like Nigeria. And I have to say here also that even when the Leahy law was in effect, President Trump, in his first administration, acquiesced to the sale of aircraft, military aircraft, the Super Tucano, to Nigeria, and we appreciate that. And you could see that the aircraft were put to work, and this is a sort of collaborative effort that is required in the fight against terrorism, in securing the region, and it is. We are at the forefront of the fight against terrorism globally, because most of the threat is taking place in the Sahel region, and you can even see from the records that the Sahel registered more deaths in terms of terrorist acts than any other part of the world. And when you talk about the Sahel, the majority are Muslims; they're not Christians. We're talking about the Sahelian countries, not even Nigeria here.
Wait. That is a Minister of Foreign Affairs. That's Foreign Affairs Minister Tuggar. Yusuf Tuggar. You see, this man says something that it is a collaboration between the US and the Nigeria government. They collaborated. This man said he was on the phone with them, 19 minutes on the phone, another 5 minutes on the phone, discussing about this before they carried out these airstrikes. And the government, Nigeria government, gave go ahead. That they provided, which is Nigeria provided intelligence information location to the US, where they are going to bomb, if they comes out, they are going to bomb it, where they are going to bomb. So they provided those intelligence information to the US, of which they did what they asked them to do, isn't it? Now the question here is, if Tuggar, Minister of Foreign Affairs Minister, he's telling us they know all these informations, how come they have not been able to act based on these intelligence informations until Donald Trump has to come intervene? You have the information. Is it that our Nigerian military are not doing enough, or there's no political will to carry out this? Tinubu cannot make this order, cannot give this order directive to the military to go and do this? So because when you listen to different analysts every time talking about before this Donald Trump, they said they don't know location, as in they don't know the location. When you listen to different APC ministers, this and that, every time they said they don't know the location, they are working, they are trying to find the location, they don't know where they are, this and that, every time. But the minister now is telling us they know before they came. How come you have not been able, Nigerian government has not been able to do this? I mean, there's something more to this. There's something more to this, and they need to tell us more. Yes, this is not a fight between Christians and Muslims. It's a fight to solve the problem of killing these religions, any religions in this country. So you have right to live and to practice your religion. Nobody should die because you are practicing your religion, because they want you to convert to their own religion. No. So this is a fight to fish out, or to fish out those people, whatever you call them, that are after Christians and after Muslims, that are disturbing everybody in this country. So that is it. So if we can be, if Donald Trump, with the help of Donald Trump, we're able to solve this, that means everybody could live in peace. I think this is a welcome idea and the right way to go. So this is going to expose a lot of things, a lot of information, which will further help the Nigeria military personnel to even do their own work. So if the Donald Trump, this collaboration, not to share intelligent information with the Nigeria military, because they know already the problems, and some of them are in military, some of the bandit Boko Haram, you call them, they are in the military. So whenever information gets to them, they quickly disseminate that same information to these bandits in the bush or to their ogas. Those ogas will have to communicate to them. That's how it was. That's how they do it. So this is why I'm not interested in US share intelligent information with these people, because we've seen that in the past. It's happened in the past. That people feeding them with information. Who are those people? Are people in this security department. Anyways, I hope we are able to resolve this. Please, what do you think about this? Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.